Have you ever wanted to feel so tanky that you can stand there, let enemies attack you, go make coffee, cook an entire feast for 60,000 people, have kids and your kids to have grandkids, and for them to see the aliens finally land on Earth, and then the future that you see in movies to come to reality? What I'm saying is, you can be really tanky. I kind of lost the plot there. What's good, folks? It's Nightmare Frame here with a new First Descendant video. So I recently released a video of Ajax where I showcased a 50,000 HP build and a 100,000 defense build. And yes, those builds still work just fine, so you can keep on using that 50k HP build without any issues. But guess what? In this video, what if I tell you you can achieve 175,000 shields, yes, and have a large shield regeneration over time? You can go even higher to 200,000, but let's just keep it simple here, because with that setup you do need to run overwhelming shields, which reduces your HP to 1, and I don't want to do that. This is all thanks to Matrix Recomputation, where it changes your third skill to help support your allies as it buffs shields and defense while regenerating shields over time. You of course want to use this skill in its enhanced version to grant you a buff. But here's the thing, you can stack the bonus shields from modules, components, and Ajax's enhanced second skill to then chain that into the enhanced version of the third skill with Matrix Recomputation to give you a massive shield pool. So for those who don't know much about Ajax, you can go over and check out the previous video to learn about his kit, but I'll keep this short and simple. You use his skills to stack up your unique resource bar that allows you to enhance your regular skills so they do extra stuff. So this helps support yourself and allies. And this isn't the only way you can play Ajax. In my previous video, I was using body enhancement. Well, you see, in that video, I did state that you could drop overwhelming HP when using body enhancement to give you a large shield and health pool together for a larger EHP. So that's exactly what I did for the second version of this Ajax build. And this is also an infinite shield tank build that has a heck ton of HP and shield regeneration. I am using the skill module Body Enhancement. This does remove his regular passive to enhance his abilities, so the number thing you want to focus on for this particular build is having a lot of health to give you more shields and defense. And for those who don't know, Ajax's barrier and bubble scale off defense, so having a large defense pool does help. Moving on to the components for the different builds. Let's start off with the Matrix Recomputation build components. I'm running the 4-piece bravery set just to keep it simple, but you can go 2-piece, meaning 2-piece bravery and 2-piece rainbow, or 2-piece bravery and annihilation set. This is all here to grant me a large shield pool and health regeneration. This grants me increased shields and HP, skill duration, and 35% chance to reduce a random skill's cooldown by 1.63 seconds whenever I kill a stunned enemy. You want to have a bunch of shields and defense as your main stats along with the substats. And moving on to the second build, which uses body enhancement, I'll be using a completely different set. So that means when I go over my components, you want to have a rainbow set, not following any set bonus. Double HP on the auxiliary with MP recovery. Max HP sensor, max MP and recovery. Memory, HP, defense with MP recovery modifier. And finally, the processor with max HP and max shields alongside shield recovery modifier. So good when you get this all in gold. Trust me, try to get this all in gold. And for the reactor, you want a tech reactor, of course non-attribute because Ajax is non-attribute, with a secret garden mounting. Why the secret garden, you may ask? Because I'll be synergizing this with my Ajax build. You don't have to, but I want to. And I am. Secret Garden helps me boost his unique resource bar while also increasing his ability and gun damage. To understand more, let's take a look at how I've put all of these things together. Okay, let's start off with the first build. This is the Matrix Computation build where I build up crazy amounts of shields. As I said, I will be using the Bravery set to keep it simple, but if you want more shields, you run Rainbow. So every time I cast a skill, I will get a unique resource bar that fills up right underneath my mana. So casting my first skill, you can see right there, I got a bar. Now that everything is filled up, I have blue skills. That means enhanced versions. Casting my second skill increases the amount of shields I get. And all the duration is right there, you can see. Casting my other skills to get the enhanced version of my third, boom! That's how I get 100,000 plus shields. Very simple. It's all thanks to the second skill that snapshots into the third skill, which grants me all of those shields. Now let's take a look at Secret Garden to show you why this weapon is synergizing pretty well. Number one thing, you want to have your Reactor, Secret Garden mounting, skill cooldown, skill duration, skill cost, skill duration, cooldown. Those are the three things that you want. Preferably cooldown duration or cost and duration. Either one is fine. And the weapon in question, Secret Garden. I do have crit rate, crit damage, Colossus, rounds per magazine. That rounds per magazine is the unlucky roll. You can switch that out to weak point damage or even a gold rounds per magazine. Either one is fine. Now, what is so unique about the Secret Garden? First of all, its stats. Right now, if you take a look at my fully modded Secret Garden, I have 80% crit rate, 5 times critical damage multiplier, and a 2 times weak point damage increase. So the unique ability of Secret Garden we have over here. When using a dimension skill, this is Ajax's first and fourth skill, recovers custom resources with a set chance. So if I cast my dimension skill, you see how it filled up a bar and a little bit extra. That's the Secret Garden thing triggering. But when using a tech skill, it grants us a unique ability called Pest Control. Pest Control grants me bonus firearm attack and skill power, and it stacks up to 3 times. And this has a higher chance of triggering with 50%, and it lasts for 10 seconds. So if I were to cast either my second or third skill, let's have a look. Third skill, we got Pest Control right there. There you go, 3 stacks of Pest Control, and every time you get a trigger of Pest Control, it refreshes the skill buff. So the Secret Garden build is very simple. Base damage, crit chance, crit damage, weak point damage, real life fighter, so when you hit the weak point, you get bonus base damage, fire rate, magazine capacity, and crit rate, crit damage. I did not max this out because I like to swap this out for other things. It's at rank 10, and then if you rank this up even further, you're going to get 14% crit chance. But as you can see, we have 80% critical hit rate. It fires fairly fast, and it deals a lot of damage. And now into the first Ajax build using Matrix Recomputation. So right now he's currently naked, doesn't have anything, just to show you all the individual mods that would go into this build. Starting off with the sub modules, I'll be using long distance maneuvering. And before I put in the skill module, take a look at this third skill. This is what it usually does. You got your damage range, enhanced damage, and enhanced range. Originally, this has a very high skill power motion value, but of course, when I put in Matrix Recomputation, it changes completely, reducing its damage, but granting me those defensive attributes. Speaking of defensive attributes, let's add in those defensive attributes. Starting off with my HP, I'll have increased HP over here and battle stamina. Not steam accelerant, but battle stamina, just because of the duration. We need the duration. And then the 2 slots here, I'll be running increased shield and HP conversion. This reduces my HP slightly, but increases my shields. And for those thinking about running weighing scales instead of HP conversion, because they're worried about that minus HP, don't. You won't even notice it. The main difference between these two is 2,500 shields. That's it. So don't worry about it. And the final mod here is survivability with psychological victory. This reduces incoming damage and gives me MP recovery. Now the C slot is going to be a lot different in the other Giga Tank build. So now that we have all our C slots filled in, let's fill in those M's since we have 3 of them. We're going to start off with Maximize Conservation. This reduces my skill cost, but also my skill power modifier. That really doesn't matter. This is more of a tanky build, right? MP conversion for the cooldown reduction and reduces my max MP. And then finally, for even more cooldown reduction, I'll be running Nimble Fingers. Now you may have noticed I got 3 seconds here on my third skill because Matrix also reduces the cooldown of my third skill. Now for the final mods, I'll be running Skill Extension here for the increase in duration. The final slot is now up to you, whether you're playing in a group or you're playing solo, because it all depends on how you want to build this. And for the people not worried about the damage on the 3 that much, we'll be focusing more into that duration, so the buff lasts longer. But to be honest, I would say it's better to not even worry about this, right? And go with amplification control to give you more shields and range. So your third skill actually hits more. But if you're playing in a group and you want your allies to get those shields, you're going to be running maximize range to increase that radius even further. So it will go from 6 to 9 meters all the way to 7 to 11 meters. So this really depends on how you are playing. Personally, for an all-rounder setup, I would actually use amplification control because your teammates are not going to be sticking around you that much, but you want to have some range to hit enemies. But then again, you also want additional shields. And lastly, taking a look at the body enhancement setup, which is more of an all-rounder setup, not too worried about having giga shields, but you have a balance of the two. But you're still tanky and you're able to do everything that the other build does, but deal a bit more damage. All right, so let me demonstrate how we can get back these shields fairly easily. Let me just damage my shields real quick, and all this damage we're taking, nothing. Shield regeneration. Oh my. Oh my. Those shields are regenerating. Oh my. Oh, we're back to full shields. We're barely taking any damage. What is that? What is that? What is that? It's fine. Get back to those shields. The only thing that's different with this particular build is that my components have changed and a couple of mods have changed. Do you remember that C slot where it had psychological victory? Now I have shield collector, so I can go around killing enemies and still remain pretty tanky without even having to worry about dying. So this is for general gameplay and not for bossing. And I did change battle stamina to steam accelerant, so we have more shields, because with body enhancement, when I have more HP, I gain more defense and shields. Simple as that. So these are the three things that I changed on the build just to tweak it in a way where it's more balanced. However, if you're fighting against a boss and you still want to use this particular setup, you will change shield collector to conditional recharge. So when using a skill, consume 17.5% of your max HP and recovers 12.2% of your max shields. Because when you're in a boss fight, you're not going to have a lot of ads that you're going to be killing. So let me actually show you how that looks like real quick. This setup is really good against bossing because, for one, there are not that many enemies. So right now, you see, we're taking some damage to our shields. Not that much. Let's just take a bit more hits. So I'm going to cast my skill. Boom. Right there. I got my shields back. But you may have noticed I lost some health because it uses health as a resource. You can always kill these enemies and they can drop health, but unfortunately they drop mana. Maybe this guy. Wow, the one time I want to showcase something, they don't drop health. Pretty tanky. You can also reflect damage. Oh yeah. That's the best part when he does that attack. It drops some health. So there you go. You got some health. You can regenerate your shields. And for those people who are wondering how to get Shield Collector, you can go to your Access Info here, hover over Shield Collector and Acquisition Info, and we'll tell you by combining mods. How to increase your chances of getting Shield Collector, make sure when you're combining mods, they're all the C socket type, gold rarity, and descendant modules. But if you're lucky, you're lucky and you just get it by combining gold modules. So yeah, folks, these are my Ajax builds, the new and improved shield tank builds that don't even care about anything that hits them. Well, that's the best part about playing Ajax. He's not Kyle. Anyway, folks, that has been it from me. I do hope you enjoyed and learned something from this video. And if you did, please feel free to leave a like, share, and subscribe for more First Ascending content, streams, and so much more. Do refer to the description. Thanks for watching, and as always, a peace. Bye-bye now. See you soon in the next video, because this one's done.